Today I'm joined by the founder and executive chairman at ClearVue Technologies, Victor Rosenberg. Victor, thanks for joining me today.
My pleasure, thank you.
Now, Victor, as the founder of the business, tell me a little bit about the company and your involvement at ClearVue.
Well, I created the company, I developed the technology, and I've been so-called the sole employee for a long time now. But today, the team is now comprised of around 10 employees, plus other external contractors, both in Australia and overseas. The company really started going forward around about 2010, is when I came up with a new concept. Loved nature, and I thought the best way to add contribution to the future is to see how I can put energy and the environment together in the form of a presentation technology. And that's exactly what I set out to do. And I use the window as the base because windows are everywhere. So I use the window as the base to house the technology. And that's exactly what we did. And today we've achieved the product that we set out to do, which is a clear product. It is scalable, and more importantly, it has functions as well.
So, Victor, for those that aren't familiar with the business, give me a bit of a recap of what ClearVue does.
ClearVue has developed this unique technology. ClearVue is the business today where it manufactures product. We have OEM manufacturers in China who make to our specification. It's the only clear solar panel in the world today. There are others, but unfortunately they are optically distorting, they have lines or they look like a checkerboard or whatever. They are still in development. And I'd just like to mention something about a company in the US in the same similar space as us. They are listed at about $16 a share, so they're worth over $500 million. I would love to see how we would feature if we were in the US today, having a product that is already UL certified, ready for production, and ready for the market. At the end of the day, power is king. We produce our own power, and that's what makes us very unique. We have gone further to use that power to create self-powered, autonomous, functional windows, meaning that we can power blinds, we can power cameras for security, we can power light control mechanisms within the window. If the CO2 level is too high in a room, we can actually flush fresh air, filtered fresh air into the room. And we can also do lighting of the glass so the buildings can light up at night. They are really super functional, autonomous products that we have developed as the next step of the development.
Fantastic. So fascinating technology there, Victor. What are some things current shareholders or investors looking at ClearVue can expect from the business in 2021?
Well, there's a lot happening now in the business. COVID last year was a bit of a slow year due to COVID, but there are a lot of things in the pipeline right now. Number one, we are focusing on New York City particularly, because New York City have new legislation in, which means that by 2024 and the latest 2030, all the buildings have to upgrade. They've got to become more sustainable. They've got to get a better star rating. That's replacement windows. That's a different market to the new window market, but it's a market that we can fit in very easily. And hence our focus is on New York City. Another big thing with New York City is that for every ton of CO2 produced by a building, they are fined at the rate of $275 per metric ton. It's a lot of money. A building like Trump's would probably get a fine of $2 million. So it's forcing people to have to upgrade their buildings. Further things that are happening with Sinochem. Sinochem is a very big Chinese company. I met them in about September 2019. They have a building division called Junmo Green Buildings. and they're interested in our technology. So we have an arrangement in place that we should first do a project together, which we have. We've built a chalet, a 2-story building where the new Beijing Olympic Games are going to be. That's housing our new technology. If they're happy with that, then we will go to the next step of entering into an exclusive distribution agreement. Other news in the pipeline and projects are Singapore, Brazil, Japan. Japan is happening, in fact, in March. We're starting to do a greenhouse in Japan. There's a lot of interest in Japan, particularly in food security and greenhouses. We're also now looking at expanding in Europe in a big way. We've just busy negotiating to employ the CEO of a large BIPV firm to work for us. He's well connected in the industry, and he would be the perfect man to lay the foundations to start growing our business in Europe. Another reason we want to do Europe now is there is a 65 billion euro fund available for renewable projects for Europe. So we want to be registered in Europe to actually take advantage of getting some of that money for our projects. Then I just want to come back to the actual greenhouse itself that we're building in Murdoch, which is government-sponsored as well, because food security is really on the minds of every government. It's really the most important issue. This is a greenhouse that we're building using our technology. We're hoping to create a microclimate within the greenhouse. So the temperature will be around about 23 to 26 degrees centigrade. Therefore, you use less power for cooling and heating. We also provide power. And I also want to introduce, for the next development, a carbon sink, because carbon is the monster we've got to get rid of. So all the carbon produced by the various equipment, we will collect, put it into this heat sink, the carbon sink, my apologies. It will then go through a purifying and cleansing process that we produce food-grade CO2 that you feed to the plants, and that will actually stimulate growth by 10 to 15%. So that's where we're at with the greenhouse there now. In terms of ISO, I've formed a committee already, because what I'm trying to do is get our product ISO approved or ISO registered. I'm going one further because I want to create the new ISO standard for the window integrated photovoltaic. It doesn't exist. I want to create that new ISO level. So the new level will be the ClearVue level.
Incredible story there, Victor. Lots to look forward to for ClearVue. Thank you for joining me today and for giving me this update. And I look forward to talking to you again soon.
Wonderful. Thank you for your time. Thank you.